Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome back, onesies, to the show that is like getting attacked by a snake and a hawk at the same time. The audience of one show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5, irlonestar.com, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I am Andrew, next to the man who hopes that PCP tastes like Starbursts, the fourth of his kind, the rich man from south of Richmond, Richard Price Schisler.
What's up, guys?
Man, you killed the music.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry.
Oh man, I was jamming.
Sorry about that, but welcome to Audience of One, here every Wednesday at 10 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Lone Star Community Radio.
It's us.
Feel free to donate at any time. There's a donate button below. Support the show. Support the station.
Wednesdays, 10 a.m.
And if you're in the Montgomery County area and you want to start a show, reach out to us.
Not me. You can reach out to
me.
To Dick.
But did you have a good weekend, man? I know we hung out this weekend. It was
Bro,
nice.
it was epic.
Yeah.
We had a nice little swim party.
Yeah, it was nice. It was food.
What else are you going to do when it's 103 outside?
Yeah, it was ridiculously hot.
Ate some crabs and some scramps.
Yeah.
It was good, man. It was a fun time.
That's good.
Fun time.
That's good.
I have to admit, I have one more observation from school, back to school talk we had last week.
Okay.
I remembered this after our episode last week. We talked about all kinds of fun memories from back to school and whatnot. But one thing that didn't really affect me, and I know it didn't affect you either, but apparently kids don't use lockers anymore. I don't know if you're aware of this.
I wouldn't be surprised because of all the trouble people get in with their lockers.
That's exactly what it is. It's a place for kids to harbor weapons and or drugs, condoms, whatever, you know.
I like how you emphasize that. I can't believe they would have that.
Yeah, I mean, drugs and whatever, but condoms.
Yeah.
You know, anyways, so consequently what happens is the kids have to carry everything in their backpack. And I was reminded of that as I saw the kids wandering through the neighborhood with these massive backpacks on, and especially my daughter, too. They look like they're going out for a 3-day hike every day for school. And what's made worse is my daughter's in dance, so she has a separate bag for dance stuff, and she'll put that on the front of her with her school bag on the back, and she's walking around like she's... You should
just give her a baby carriage and just like, that's how they should roll.
But they all have to do that. They all have to walk around with 30-pound backpacks because one kid ruined it all. I'm sure, well, it's probably a series of kids that ruined it all.
No, there's probably some stupid reason like, oh, it slows the kids down getting from class to class because they have to go to their locker.
Well, it probably does.
And that's where you talk to your friends, and we can't have any of that in between periods.
Yeah. You use lockers, though, right, when you were in high school?
Yeah, I didn't really use it, though.
Okay, so that was where I was moving to, was whether or not you actually used it. Because every year you got assigned a locker, right?
Yeah.
And I used it all through junior high. I used it up through my freshman year and the first part of my sophomore year. But as soon as I got my driver's license and started driving to school, the truck became the locker. And I would go out to the truck and switch out my books. I had them on the floorboard there. Why, I don't know. It was extra time. It was further away, but it was cooler to use your car as a locker.
I guess.
Oh, my God.
Today's school would be totally different, I think.
Completely.
Completely different than when I went to school, I feel like.
I think a lot of it is social media and the phones has to have changed everything, man.
Well, I know we talked about that a while back where I was amazed that my nieces talked through an app.
Yeah,
and
rather
not
than text.
And I was really confused by that. And they're like, oh, we're in Snapchat. We chat through Snapchat.
You know, and it's kind of funny how what is old is new again. That's kind of the same thing as leaving a message at the beep. I mean, we used to call people when they didn't answer. There was an answering machine that you left a voice recording for. It's kind of the same thing if you think about it. You're leaving a voice message for somebody, and they're going to go pick it up later when they're available or when they're free. It's kind of the same thing.
I just know.
Except you can do it with a cat filter face on this time now. That's really about the only
That
thing.
just really surprised me. But then again, like, kids are going to do whatever they can just to communicate without actually, like, being held accountable for what they say.
Or no parent filter.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because that's the worst.
I don't
Like,
have
I know if I
parents
was a
to hear what I'm
kid,
saying.
if I was a kid and I was texting, I would never do it because you get caught. Like, because you save them, and maybe that's why they're doing Snapchat because it doesn't save it.
Oh, it does it not?
Well, I mean, I know that's the premise of the original premise of Snapchat.
Yeah.
But that's like with pictures and stuff. They have a chat feature in Snapchat, so it's like, well, you can still kind of go through your messages. So
Right.
if your parents get your phone, it's not hard to see what you're saying.
Kids, just be on the up and up, and that way you don't have to worry about it. There, that was my message to children today.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I'm sure it's going to
Well,
work.
they're certainly not handwriting anything.
We have no, they're not. We have such a large child.
Does your daughter know how to write?
Audience. Yeah, she knows how to write. Yes, she is.
Just not cursive.
They don't write cursive. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she prints. I mean, I think she does a little bit of cursive, but not like we used to. I mean, it was a big deal in like 4th grade. You're going to have to learn cursive. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that transition from the big blue pencils to the little pencils. That was pretty traumatic. And then from doing print to cursive, that was pretty traumatic. Now, I don't think you can write with 2 hands now. They don't care.
There definitely was a period where, like, after the cursive years, it's like, oh, you can do whatever you want now. I'm like, then what was the point?
What was the point? Yeah.
What was the point?
I did like the paper that had the 3 lines, had the dotted line in the middle, so I knew exactly where to go. And then once that was gone, I was pretty wild with it.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
I used to have fairly good penmanship. I don't know what happened. Somewhere along the lines, when I stopped writing a lot, it got bad.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be able to write legibly. What happened? Oh, man. We talked a few weeks ago about the inspection for vehicles going away, that the Governor Abbott had done away with that.
Certain counties.
Certain counties, of course. Montgomery is not one of them. And as it turns out, it has to do with whether or not you're an emissions county. So if you're an emissions county, meaning they test the emissions on your car, you still have to get inspected. So that was the deal. Montgomery County is an emissions county. So I had to get my car inspected the other day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was like, dang it. Darn Montgomery County. So it was a Friday afternoon. I thought, I'm just going to go real quick, get my car inspected. I go to the Jiffy Lube or wherever, real close by my house, and it is packed. Oh, my God. I'm like, never mind. I'll just do this first thing in the morning. What time do they open? You know, I look it up on the phone, 7 a.m. I'm like, I'll be here when they open. Saturday morning. It'll be easy to get in and out. Next morning, about 7:30, I go over there. There's not a soul there. And I don't just mean customers. The building wasn't open. I'm like, what the heck? So I come around the building. I look for a sticker that says what time they open. Nothing on the building. Phone says 7 a.m. I thought, oh, man, somebody must have overslept. I'll come back in a little bit. I go home, make myself some breakfast. I come back about 8:30. It's packed again. Line around the corner. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Guy comes out and I said, hey, I just need to get my car inspected. Well, there's only one guy doing inspections today. You got 4 people in front of you. It'll be about an hour and a half. I said, I'm not waiting, man. I'll just come back later. So I'm driving home, and I remember there's another place on the opposite side of my house. I'll just go there. I drive in, walk right in. Nobody. I'm like, this is great. I said, I just need an inspection. No problem, sir. Give me the keys. You go into the waiting room over there. Internet, TV, coffee.
Oh, they have a waiting room?
Yeah. I was like, this is great. They were playing some Harry Potter movie, whatever. And I'm like, this is wonderful. So I'm sitting down, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And right about the time I start wondering, the guy walks in and says, hey, man, got a bit of a problem. I'm like, oh, what's going on? He goes, we accidentally switched tickets with another truck, and we're giving you an oil change right now. We didn't mean to. The other car was coming in for an oil change. We accidentally got the tickets mixed up, so we're giving you an oil change. We're not going to charge you for it, but that's what's taking so long. I'm like, okay, all right. But there is one other thing.
We gave you the wrong oil.
No, he said the oil cap on the bottom, it was leaking, so we need to replace it. I was like, okay, I don't remember having a leak. Problem is, we don't have them in stock, and it's at the warehouse, and we're going to have to ship it here. Okay, how long will that take? That'd be about 15, 20 minutes. And I'm thinking, okay, 15, 20 minutes. Then they have to put the oil in, and then they actually have to go and inspect the car. Okay, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. I look out, my truck's still up on the lift. I ask them about it. Oh, yeah, let me call and check on your truck. They still hadn't delivered the stinking oil cap, right? I'm beginning to think they broke it because I'm thinking, just put the old one on at this point. I don't care. I was there for 3 hours before they finally got this thing, the oil pan plug. I think I call it cap, the plug on the bottom. and had all the service done. I went home like, good God, there's half my day gone when I could have just waited at the original place for the hour and been out. But all because we're in emissions county, and I have to get that stinking thing inspected. So now I totally have changed my tune on that. I don't want to have to deal with inspections any longer.
I mean, it sucks for you.
It really did. And it sucked for everyone else who was around me that day because I was pretty grumpy the rest of the day.
Oh, man. You should have gone to the place I go to where you don't have to get out of your car.
That's where the first place was. You don't have to get... Well, for an inspection, you do.
No. The place I went to, that didn't have to.
That is totally not legit. Tell me off the air what place that is.
No, they make you do all the other stuff, like the brake lights.
Oh, they make you do it. Turn on your blinker, okay, yeah.
Brights and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I had a place like that at my old place
Well,
of
what was
residency.
interesting was...
now that I think about it.
Well, I didn't know they did that because I've been going to the same place for, like 10 years.
Yeah.
And I get there, and I did my normal thing. Like, I got out of my car, and I go into the waiting room. Well, the waiting room is now the storeroom. And I was like, where are the chairs? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, you just wait in your car now. We don't have a waiting room anymore. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. It's like to do your oil, to do all that stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and there's little gremlins underneath, so you don't have to raise your car.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So it was interesting. I was
maybe a front for something else. But that's fine. That's cool. That's cool.
I don't know, but let's get with the show.
Let's kick this off, man.
Let's go.
Start it up, baby. So I saw this story a couple of weeks ago and had to laugh because it did remind me of something that I think you probably would do, Dick. It's not a news story. It's from 2022, and this is from Insider.com. But apparently there was a museum in Russia that had a security guard that was charged with vandalism because he was doodling on one of the paintings.
I mean,
I do want you to show this picture. I don't know if I put that in the run sheet, but
I got it.
So this is an unnamed guard. At this time, he was unnamed. There was a painting that I think was worth several $1 million. It was completed in the 1930s by a Soviet artist, Anna Lepskoraya. And it's one of these paintings that's kind of plain. The faces don't have any... The people don't have any faces on them. Yeah. And this security guard decided, I think I could jazz this up a bit. And he went over there and painted googly eyes on the painting.
I mean...
Yeah, it says the painting's worth around $1 million.
I like it.
Funniest thing, though, it was his first day on the job. I would assume that, like, maybe he was staring at this painting for weeks and weeks, and it was just annoying him. Or maybe it was, like, on his last day, and he was mad, and he's like, screw it, and he painted. Nope, this is the first day. Just pulls out the old number 2 ballpoint pen and paints some eyes on this picture. Love it. Would you have done that, Dick? That sounds like something you would have done. Were you one of those guys that drew in the school books, though?
No.
No, really? I wasn't either. I always felt like I was going to get in trouble for doing that. And on top of it, I didn't want to deface the school property because that's the kind of person I am.
Yeah, except when you go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, then it's on. Then it's tear up everything.
Tear up everything, man. No, this kind of stuff's funny, though. I like it. Because you know that one guy who's like the shift after. Yeah. And they're like, hey, like, I mean, like the first person who notices the googly eyes. Mm-hmm. Because it's such, if you looked at the picture, it was such a little tiny circle for eyes. Yeah. So you don't really know if it's like, because if I saw that, I'd be like, I thought the artist did that.
Yeah, and he probably thought, I'm going to really add to this picture. You know, art is about what speaks to you, and I think this picture needs to speak to me with its eyes.
That's funny, man.
It says, visitors to the gallery alerted staff on December 7th after they spotted what appeared to be 2 pairs of crudely rendered eyes scribbled on the painting. He didn't even try and make them look very artistic either. It was just like 2 little dots. So awesome. He's a 60-year-old dude. It's not like this was some young guy. This was a 60-year-old.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I think the article you sent said there was a lapse of sanity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'd say that's putting it lightly.
I mean, at least it was yeah, I don't know.
What's even better is he used one of the pins that he got from the museum.
Yeah.
Something just has like out front.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I guess there's always some great stories where people are at work and they're doing stupid stuff. And like I know when I worked at Kroger with my best friend, we would play. You remember if you go to like an HEB or Kroger, they give you stickers or they put stickers on like sodas that are under the cart, bottom.
Oh yeah,
cart.
So these have been paid for essentially.
Yeah. So just kind of, which is ironic to me because they told us don't stop anyone shoplifting, but you have to put stickers on everything. That way we know they paid for it. I'm like, well, what does it matter? But anyway, we used to play a game where we would put those stickers on everything.
Yeah. I could see
and
that.
The part of the game was if you found it, you get like $1. So, because we would have different color stickers, and this is during the time of VHSs were still around.
God, you're old.
So we would put stickers all over the front area of Kroger. So I'm talking like if you go get a Payday, there's gonna be a sticker on the back of it.
So in theory, someone could just pick that up and be like, "Well, it's already been paid for."
Well,
Just walk out waving it.
Well,
Good.
they got mad at us because they discovered stickers on stuff like 3 months later. And they were like, "Hey, could y'all stop putting stickers on stuff?" And I go, "We haven't done that in like a couple months, man.
You really need to re-up on your inventory here."
But they were everywhere. Like that was really funny to me.
Did you put them on each other as well?
No,
okay.
because we would just do a thing where it's like, okay, for the next 30 minutes, you can't look at me, and I would just put stickers on, the soda machine, and all that kind of stuff. But that was the only time I could think of like a defaced property at work. That I didn't.
I don't believe I've ever defaced property at work.
I don't really think I did it on purpose, but it was just past the time. So
somehow this doesn't surprise me. I love it though.
Yeah.
Work stories with Dick.
Yeah, we did some weird stuff.
I bet. Sticking on this subject of eyes, there is a woman, and I do want you to show this picture as well. We're very visually enhanced today, I suppose. But a woman has gone blind after she tattooed her eyeballs. But, Dick, she says, "I have no regrets. No regrets." And I want you to show this picture of this woman because she's tattooed from head to toe, which I suppose isn't necessarily
Well, that looks cool.
all that rare anymore. But what is rare is she's tattooed the whites of her eyes, and they look turquoise, which it's kind of neat looking for a picture. I don't know that I would want to have that every day, right? I don't know that I'd want to look like that every day. And sadly, there's a picture next to her what she looked like before she started having all this work done, and she's a fairly cute young girl. But, you got to trick it up these days. And she's got the hair dyed blue or whatever. Yeah, it's no big deal.
Now she's blind.
Now she is blind. Of course, she's got, tattoos over 98% of her body. And she has the split tongue, which we talked about the other day. Yeah. Crazy, man. But she has now gone blind. She's only 28 years old. No regrets. No regrets, man.
You're a parent. There's
apparently
there's those moments I imagine through parenthood where you're kind of like, what is this kid thinking? Like,
yeah. I think that would probably. There's lots of moments like that, actually.
And then especially when it comes to something permanent, because I remember growing up, like piercings were like a no-go.
Oh yeah, that was a big deal, and you got to make sure you put it in the correct ear. Otherwise, what that means.
Yeah,
and it always changed as to which ear meant.
Because we definitely messed with my
someone was
parents.
playing for the other team. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we one
dumb,
time
dumb.
I went with my brother, and we got one of those magnetic earrings.
Oh yeah.
And I think I was around like 11 at the time, 12.
Oh, that's the age to freak the parents out there.
Yeah, we came home, and it was we put it on me, and I wore it for like 2 hours.
Oh,
and
wow.
they never noticed.
They never spotted it.
And then when I walked by,
so you have to start. Like,
when I walked by, my mom was
shaking
like,
was it a dangly one?
No, it was just like a stud.
I'm picturing you with like a big loop.
Oh no, it was
like a cross.
But yeah, I remember when I walked through the room, she goes, wait, come back in here. And I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, you knew at that moment. You're like, yes, finally.
She got so mad, and then right when I told her it was fake, she immediately called my brother. I'm like, what did you do? Why are you teaching him this? But then
I would love is like you took it off and like you had an infection in your ear from it. That would have been even better.
What was even better is he actually got his ears pierced. Oh. And so I think he did it to soften the blow.
That's what I was just about to say. So then she goes, "Oh, never mind. Richard's is fake." And then when she sees him, she's already used to. Okay, that's pretty brilliant, actually.
And then there was certain moments like my older.
It's a diversion technique.
Oh yeah, it was smart on his part. Yeah. But like I have 5 brothers and sisters, and I remember like the oldest one got a tattoo. And it was like, all of a sudden, my parents just changed their idea of my brother. It was just like, you're one of those.
We don't even know you anymore.
Yeah, that's one of those things.
What's next? What's next? Are you going to start coloring your eyeballs?
Yeah. Like, if you came home and you had your tongue split, I'd be like, what? Does it make it taste better? Like, what's happening?
I get twice the flavor, baby.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. That's weird.
I mean, that's like a whole new meaning to Neapolitan. You could kind of taste both at the same time right there with that split tongue.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, man. So this next story, I don't know if I could make this up or not, but I'm going to be a little gentle with it, I suppose. But there is a transgender woman that has gone to court alleging that her ex-boyfriend stole her surgically removed genitals, and now she is demanding them back. Dick, this is where we are at these days, I have to admit.
She kept it like in a jar or something? Tell me more about this.
Yeah. So apparently there is a case that is unfolding in Michigan, and this is where this is taking place. Brianna Kingsley, 40, submitted a claim in court on Thursday alleging that her ex, 37-year-old William, I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name. Actually, maybe I will. Wojciechowski. Okay, that's not too hard. Is keeping, I love this sentence, is keeping her testicles, previously removed as part of a gender transition surgery, in a jar in his fridge and refuses to return them to her. Oh, the ex-boyfriend claimed he had been unaware of the filing until he was reached out for comment by Newsweek. So you talk about that's a strange custody situation there. And also gives new meaning to the whole thing. She's got your, in a can, as the saying goes. I don't know what all I can say on the radio.
I do feel like if you're in a relationship and someone has that in a can, that would kind of weird me out a little bit.
Yeah, this is not just a figure of speech. This is literally, she's got them, and she's kept them. She refuses to give them back. It says in a handwritten affidavit, Kingsley demanded the return of her human remains and $6,500 in damages. So that is the price we've put on the testicles.
There we go.
To me, I think they're worth a little bit more than that, but she claims they are worth $6,500. All right, this next story was all over the place for several weeks, and I debated whether or not to bring it to air, but it is just kind of funny. I, again, want you to show the picture because this is very visually intensive today. Apparently, there is a Japanese man has gone viral after he spent more than $15,000 on what is being called a hyper-realistic costume so that he could fulfill his lifelong dream of becoming a dog. Dick, I have to admit, that is the most amazing costume I have ever seen.
Yeah, it does look pretty good.
It's a collie. For those of you who are not watching the video and only listening on podcast, it is a collie. And it's an amazing-looking costume. And, of course, he's got all the gestures. I guess he's on his hands and knees there. He's got all the gestures down that a dog would do if it were to roll over and play dead and shake and everything.
Oh, my. And the mouth moves?
It's pretty amazing. So no, that was an odd movement for a dog's arm there. I don't know that was quite natural. But I have to ask the question, is this weirder than, like, furry behavior? Or is this less odd? Because this is just an elaborate costume, really.
Well, I mean,
a furry.
What immediately comes to mind is how long does he stay in this costume, and how far does he take animal behavior?
Yeah, well,
because like if you're using the restroom as a dog,
I think this
guy's. I
think this guy's married, right? And he's got to have help getting into that thing. There's no way he can do that himself. He's got to have a furry accomplice there or something.
I like it.
It is an amazing costume, though.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd want to spend $20,000 on it.
There's payment plans available.
Right. But I guess if that's your dream, and it did say this is his dream.
I mean, more power to him. I like it.
It says he looks like Lassie. Yeah, I guess he kind of does. Anyways, so it's been, about 3 or 4 months since our famous Goop Goop episode.
Well, Gwyneth Paltrow's.
Yeah, and she's back in the news. And I saw this and said, I've got to talk about this because of our legendary Goop Goop episode that we did a few weeks ago. But apparently Gwyneth Paltrow is now listing her luxury guest house on Airbnb for one night and one night only. Dick, are you ready? Are you sitting?
Okay.
Dick, are you sitting?
I'm sitting.
Okay, good. It won't cost a penny. For free, that's right. The actress and entrepreneur announced on Instagram on Tuesday that her one-bedroom property in Montecito, California, will be available for a free one-night stay for up to 2 guests in September. But the kicker here is she's going to be there to say hello, to meet and greet them. Dick, you are going to get an up-close and personal view of that candle. Are you excited or what? You got it. I think.
Hold on, is this not like a fundraiser or anything? She's just doing this.
I think this is to promote her brand, because at the time she says,
"Oh no, it's an advertisement."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm reading it right now. It says the bathroom will be stocked with her favorite Goop products.
That's right.
I wonder if the Jade Stone's going to be in there.
Oh, I wasn't aware of the Jade Stone.
Oh, you have we're not going to be talking about that too much. Just look it up. Just look it up.
Like I said, I know you were so interested in that candle. I thought maybe you'd want to go get a first-hand account of it, see how accurate its rendering was.
That's interesting because there is, Goop kitchen-inspired meals will be had, and this is a fundraiser.
Absolutely. Well, it can't be a fundraiser. It's an advertisement for her Goop products, no doubt. But I saw that and immediately thought, okay, we got to talk about this because there's going to be a bunch of creeper dudes signing up for. And this is weird because she just came off of that trial for sexual assault or whatever, and now here she is saying, "Oh, you get to spend one night in my house." It's kind of a weird marketing twist if you think about it. I don't know. Just seems a little strange.
I mean, that's kind of the aspect of celebrities, right? You want to live like a celebrity, or see what the way they live. I think it's kind of funny that if someone wins, like, do you have to be there? Like, is that like a
must be present to win? You brought up the point last time we were talking about this, that this is going to be the new way for celebrities to get back into the spotlight, is to go through court cases and whatnot. And I'm wondering if she's now opening herself up for a new potential court case so she can get back in the limelight.
I don't know. That's kind of funny, though, like, if people who actually try to participate, and it sounds like there's a winner, right? So,
yeah, I don't know how it's selected. I could probably go through and read even more of it, but I guess you probably have to put in, your request, and then she handpicks the winner, I'm sure.
Well, no, she partnered with AirBNB.
Yeah,
so
this is okay.
I thought it was she's just doing it off the cuff because she's a weird person and like,
come look at my Goop products.
Yeah, come look at them.
And this is the special red room where we keep all of the personal pleasure products from Goop.
I don't know, man.
Didn't you say they had a whole section of personal?
No, the website is like kind of a gold mine for gag gifts, for like the most expensive gag gifts.
Yeah, no kidding. It's not like they're cheap.
But yeah, I mean that's the lifestyle though, and I imagine it's going to help her brand because people are talking about Goop Goop.
We're talking about it yet again.
Like, I would buy that candle as a gag gift, but it's $80.
I've got several of them you can have if you want.
I kind of what I kind of want to do is like find ones that look just like it, but then make my own scent and just
smells like intestinal gas or something.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of those jelly beans that taste like terrible.
Because wouldn't that weird you out if someone gave you a candle of their scent?
Yeah, just slightly. It's weird that you're selling one. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, like that would weird me out because now I'm like curious if you smell like it.
They should do that. This might be a Dick business opportunity right here. Candles by Dick. You can make your own scent, and you can have it marketed as being like floral, and yet it's basically like sweaty armpit, and you give it to somebody as a gag gift.
Yeah, but then if you bring it to school, they'll think it's like a chemical bomb, like that one kid.
Oh, right. Yep. The fart spray.
The fart spray.
Fart spray.
Went, and I was here. He went to I think they ended up going, one of them went to JV.
Fart sprays. Oh, did he go to one of those alternative schools you were talking about?
No, I think he actually went to juvenile hall. Like,
juvie. This offense is too much for detention.
If people don't know what we're talking about, locally here, some kids decided to do the fart spray, but over a course of several weeks. And so it got to the point where hazmat teams were called out because they thought there was a chemical leak.
Kid's my hero.
And then finally, I think one of them got busted because it was in his backpack. And like some teacher saw it.
That was the one mistake he made. He did not dispose of the evidence. Yeah. Man, come on,
apparently
kid.
It was like they had to do, what do you call it, evacuations because they thought it was
methane.
And so I can understand why he got in big trouble because all the money spent.
The problem is he bought extra strength. That's the problem. He should have just gone mild.
I don't know. I think that's so funny to me though.
Okay, man. Let's do this last story before the break. We talked about squatters in Houston. Not just in Houston, I'm sorry, but just squatters in general several months ago.
Did I send you that thing of that guy teaching people how to kick squatters out?
No, but that's kind of what this story is about. This is from MSN. I just recently saw this story a few days ago. But we talked about squatters, and I think both of us were fairly surprised at the fact that this can even occur. Right. And I think you were saying that you must have thought you took crazy pills because it's allowed. If somebody were to go into an unoccupied house or even a property that had not been used for some time, they could just legally gain control of it. Well, there is apparently one handyman who once removed squatters from his mother's house is now using his experience to offer squatter removal services to others. This guy has got maybe he has a jar full of that other person's
I actually watched his
balls.
YouTube video, like the entire 30-minute deal.
Really?
And there was a little bit of information I wanted more clarification for because, so from what I understood, his mother moved out of the house and he lived like 3 hours away. and then they were trying to list it. And
Some squatters moved in.
Well, no, they listed it and they talked to this person, this lady, and then the lady was like, "Well, I don't have any money," but she brought all her stuff there, and so she like was refusing to pay. And he's like, "Well, we're not going to rent to you if you're not going to pay. Like, what
What are you doing?
What are you doing?" And I guess when they left, the lady didn't leave, and she moved all her furniture and like full on like bedroom furniture.
I'm here now, guys.
But I don't understand how she got in.
Well, they probably thought that she was going to be a paying tenant. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the original
Well, that's what I'm saying. The way he told the story, I didn't really fully understand it because
Well, he was able to get rid of her, apparently.
Oh,
Somehow.
no, he eventually got rid of her, but I meant more of like, how did she get access to the house? Because I know that's the
I don't know.
That's the big thing for squatters, especially in California, is like if you lock up your house and they break windows and get in, they can get kicked out pretty easily because they broke in.
Right, but if it's left open or somehow the realtor leaves it unlocked or something, in you go. Yeah.
Because that's where he got the phone call. Was the realtor was like, "Hey, someone's living here."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?"
I wonder how she got in.
That's
I
what I'm
don't
saying.
know.
I wonder how that worked because he said at the end of the story, all he had to do is talk to the sheriff, and the sheriff gave him a piece of paper to sign that they gives the sheriff department full access to the house if it happens again, and they can do whatever they want to kick anybody out.
Well,
which I don't know why that wouldn't be the first thing you try to do when you're renting a house, but I guess that was the secret that he learned was in the future. But his method of getting them out
is really, really fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
So apparently he's offering a new service to get squatters out of your house. So basically what he does, if you have a squatter problem in one of your properties, he said he has the homeowner write up a lease to him, so he's legal about it, and he can move into the house with the squatter. And he just basically walks right on in and says, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" Brings his stuff, his suitcase, sits down, starts going through the refrigerator, starts eating dinner with them, just completely destroys these people's lives until they get so annoyed they leave.
Well, he did the smart thing.
He's like, "No, I live here now too, guys.
Well,
I'm doing the same thing you are," and just annoys them to death.
Well, he does the smart thing where he installs cameras throughout the entire house.
Yep. He says he likes to install Ring cameras in every room, and the squatters feel like they're on a reality show.
Yeah, and he just tells them, like, "Yeah, we're broadcasting."
Yeah. And he says they don't want to be seen, so eventually the people start leaving. I love it. It's kind of ingenious, but how dangerous is that, man? Woo, you walk in, you're like, "I live here now." Some people might, decide to castle doctrine your ass. I don't know.
Yeah, that whole squatting thing is really bizarre to me, especially with how long it takes to kick people out. And
his name is Flash Shelton.
But he's a handyman.
He's a handyman by trade, but now he's getting paid to kick squatters out.
Yeah.
Or to just smoke them out, basically. Anyways, guys, that's all we got for this first half of the show. I don't even know what we're going to talk about in the second half, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
If you want us to talk about whatever you want us to talk about, send us the email about the article. It's audienceofoneshow@gmail.com. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, I know we're on a break, but
we were on a break.
I know we're on a break, but I'm getting tired of all these articles Andrew keeps sending me.
They're great, and you know it.
It's all trash.
Kind of the point.
But it got me thinking, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
You, the listener, can submit articles and ideas and topics.
Yeah, they can.
audienceofoneshow@gmail.com.
That's correct.
Or Facebook, look up Audience of One Show with Andrew and Dick.
Otherwise, you're subject to stories about kids sleeping outside that apparently Dick cannot stand.
No. I'm tired of this fake news, and I know the cancer that is growing within Audience of One is Andrew and his terrible articles. So we need stories.
Come on, man. It's not that bad.
We need stories. So send us your ideas at audienceofoneshow@gmail.com and Facebook, Audience of One with Andrew and Dick.
That's us.
All right. So we look forward to hearing from you guys, and hopefully we have better topics on the next episode.
And if we don't and they're still terrible, I suppose it's my fault.
Yes. All right. Welcome back to Audience of One.
AOO show.
Goop, goop.
Goop, goop. Oh, it feels so good to say it again. Thank you, Gwyneth, for making it relevant again.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just such a fun idea to go to visit a celebrity's house and just use their bathroom.
That would be a story.
Right.
It's like in Goonies. Yeah, Michael Jackson came over to use his bathroom one time, didn't he? And that was the story that Chunk said or something.
That's great. I can't believe you remember that, but welcome
I've seen
back.
that movie once or
welcome
twice.
back. Audience of One every Wednesday at 10 a.m. here on Lone Star Community Radio. So we encourage everyone to reach out to us, audienceofoneshow@gmail.com with interesting articles. That's what I believe Andrew does every day. He looks up the weirdest stuff, keeps it PG.
They just come to me, baby. They just come to me.
I know recently you've been having fun with I Love Conroe, which is one of the best groups on Facebook.
Or the worst, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the one I was reading today was something about their kids get kicked off the bus. It was a crazy story. This is the second time they got kicked. I'm like, didn't school just start? I was like, geez.
Your odds aren't very good there, man.
And then
your ratio's a little off.
yeah, I was at the bowling alley on Friday bowling, and there's some young kids who are on bowling teams. And he was the one that introduced me to the video of that bus driver beating the crap out of a kid.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, man.
And I asked him, I was like, so how's school going? And he's like, man, they don't know what they're doing. Like the bus schedules apparently is all sorts of whack. And
They're one man down.
And well, yeah,
they're missing a driver because he is out, obviously.
Yeah, that video was pretty intense. And
yeah, if you don't know the video, this was
I think he said within the that happened on the second day, and on the first day, a kid got kicked out already for bringing like a knife to school, and then the bus problems they've been having, which bus people are on a bus for like 2 hours. So
Jeez.
Both ways,
it's always something, isn't it?
So. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. School. What's funny is it's weird how the world freaks out when there is school. Because on the way to the studio this morning, I left a little later. I left around like 8:05, and it took me twice as long to get here. And I'm going like, just because of a school zone?
Yeah, man.
And it was bumper to bumper.
Especially if it's an elementary or junior high school where none of the kids can drive themselves, and you have all the parents that come in one-to-one. Because sometimes high school they'll bum rides, and some will take buses, and some will drive themselves, and some will have their parents come pick them up. It's kind of a mix. But around a junior high or elementary school, it's busy.
Well, I want to know when the driverless cars will come into play.
Well, we got a story about that here in a minute.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about that, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if
we'll bring that up here
the
in a little
buses are going to be
driverless,
so no one can get beat.
Yeah, to avoid the incidences between bus driver and students. And again, if you haven't seen that story, it was a bus driver beat the tar out of this kid.
I will say that
bigger kid, but still,
the attitude on the bus is a lot different from the attitude in the class.
It was kind of like a free-for-all, wasn't it?
It was a free-for-all. Like, you would see if you could throw things out the window.
Yeah, behavior you would never do inside the classroom. You get inside that bus, it's like, all right.
Well, I can do whatever I want.
It's on now.
Especially if you liked a girl.
Oh, you had to show off. That was your time to shine.
Yeah, like I got 30 minutes. I got to figure this out. I got to sit by her. I got to figure out how to get over there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not seem too eager for it.
Were you always one of those kids that would sit right over the wheel well, and when it would hit a bump, you jump to get that nice trampoline effect?
I've done it before.
Heck yeah, I have too.
Yeah.
I always loved getting the old buses with worn-out shocks. Those are the best.
Yeah. Well, dude, I love the dynamic on the school bus because it kind of forced you to be friends with everybody that's in your neighborhood.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you try to figure out where everyone lives. And then throughout the years, it's almost like that 30-minute a day or an hour a day trip. You develop a friendship with everyone on the bus.
Yeah, I never rode the bus to and from school. I rode it for basketball games.
Oh, okay.
That's when I was on the bus all the time. So.
But. Yeah,
but same type of thing.
If no one moved, you'd be on the same bus with somebody for 5 years.
Right. Right.
So it's kind of
and they were you never had them for classes. They were just your bus friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh look, Timmy, my bus friend.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of back to school and why some kids would miss because maybe they got the tar beat out of them by a teacher. Did you ever have to do those random lice checks? Especially this is more like for little kids. I remember when I was in elementary school.
I remember when there was an outbreak, they had to notify everybody.
Right.
And so there was
the nurse would come in, one by one, they would pick through your hair like a little monkey.
I remember
bugs.
It was more of they notified the parents and they asked to do checks at home every day until they notified, don't do it.
Well, that's the way it was for when my kids were little. They would notify us and we would do at-home checks. But I also remember having lice checks there at school when I was little. We would stand in line and they'd come and look at our head or whatever. And, it was always, you never knew who had it. And you knew what they were looking for. But then they didn't want to embarrass the one child and call him out. Yeah. So he would just the next day just disappear. Oh, Donnie's gone. Well, guess what? We found the offender. He'd be gone for about 3 or 4 days.
No, it wouldn't just be one, though. There's usually, if there's one case of lice that's been in the school,
Yeah.
there's probably several.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Which is kind of weird, though, because to me, as adults, how do we not get it as much as kids get it?
Right? I don't understand why it's just a kid thing. I understand the close proximity, but I mean, we're in close proximity at work sometimes. I think kids are just dirty. They play a lot more rough, I guess, than adults do, and they're touching each other. I don't know. Kids are gross. Well, this is an interesting story from Australia, from the New York Post, which, by the way, is just one step up from like a tabloid.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So this one Australian mom has said, "No, I refuse to remove the lice from my daughter's head."
Wow.
Because she's a vegan.
Okay.
And vegans don't kill. So she's decided to just let the lice roam freely in her daughter's hair. Oh my God. But the story gets a little bit better. Do you know what she does with the lice?
She eats it.
No, that'd be kind of gross, though. No, she is in the habit of taking her daughter outside and to the garden and brushing her hair over the garden to give them the best chance for survival.
There's a great South Park episode. If you haven't seen it,
I cannot make this stuff up, man.
Have you seen that episode for South Park?
South Park, was it around lice?
It's about lice.
I don't think I have actually.
Like it creates this. Like one of the kids gets lice at the school.
Yeah.
And then the show turns into an actual story of the lice in the kid's head, and it's like an epic story where I think it was more like a global warming kind of story where it's like, oh, the Earth doesn't want us here. We have to plan for the future. Everyone's like, shut up. And then when everyone starts, cleaning the lice, they all start burning and they're melting, and it's a pretty great story.
Sounds amazing. I wish I would have seen more South Park episodes.
But they did that exact same thing.
Because every time I watch one, I'm like, man, these are great.
They did the exact same thing that you mentioned, like that one kid, who was it? And then so they're trying to...
See, they're trying to figure it out. Same kind of thing. Yeah.
It's funny that you said that, but yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, the lice thing, that's funny because like the mom said straight up no.
Yeah, man.
And they probably...
I didn't know that was the thing with vegans. I mean, I know you didn't eat meat, but apparently you don't kill anything. So is this woman letting spiders, gnats, mosquitoes run around her house? I don't know, man. Come on.
Who knows?
Get over it. Have you been following this Little Tay story?
I have no idea who that is.
I didn't either. I had never heard of this person until this week when the story blew up because apparently she had been reported as dead. And if you don't know who Little Tay is, she was like an Instagram or, I don't know, influencer. It says from the golden age of influencers back in 2018. She was this, yeah, I know, it's like golden age. I thought we were still in the midst of that. But anyways, she was a little girl, like 9 years old. And it was pretty obvious at the time that her parents were really pushing her and basically using their child for monetization reasons. And she got really, really like famous, I guess. Again, I'd never heard of her because, I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Well, she basically disappeared for a while, as some influencers do. She ran her course. Well, she was back in the news this past week because it was announced that she, along with her brother, so she would be about 14, her brother, I guess 15 years old, were pronounced dead. Okay. And there was some statement that was issued by the family, or by her mom, saying, hey, look, she's passed. Sorry for, we would respect our privacy. And they didn't use her Little Tay name. They used her real name, which I can't actually find at the moment. But anyways, it was kind of sad, and it makes me, wonder, what kind of childhood this girl may have. But more than anything, it got me thinking, is faking your own death illegal? Like, did these people break any laws? And I know we talked about that one guy who faked his own death and then showed up at his funeral in a helicopter, to prove a point to his family to not take people for granted. What a butt. But it got me thinking, like, is it actually illegal to fake your own death?
Well, I think if it involves fraud.
There you go. You're so smart. Man, you went to college. You're a college boy. You're so smart.
I just listened to...
It's called pseudocide.
Really?
There's
actually a term.
Yes. I guess that's the legal term for it.
Because I believe it, especially for people who are thieves. It's like, oh, I stole all these money, and then they fake the death. Isn't that what like everyone thought that Carol Baskin's husband did?
This comes up every few weeks. I don't know that much about their story, but other than the fact that she supposedly killed him.
Well, no, I remember that was what she tried to say. If I remember correctly, she goes, I think he
killed himself?
Killed himself, and...
Yeah. So pseudocide inherently is not a crime, right? By itself is not a crime. But what is all of the built-in frauds that basically go along with taking your own life, okay? So basically it's you're stealing life insurance, or your spouse is part of that con, and she files a false police report. You're avoiding a large amount of taxes and defrauding lenders from your home and your car, and all this stuff starts to add up to where it's basically, especially if you're an adult, virtually impossible to fake your own death without breaking at least some laws. And then especially if you come back with a new identity, you're breaking all kinds of laws and defrauding new lenders and everything with this new identity of yours. So it is technically, I guess, difficult to do. But this poor little girl, Lil Tay, is alive, thank God. But I think her parents are probably going to be in some serious trouble if I had to guess.
Yeah.
I think I asked you before if you would fake your own death, and you said that you did. I couldn't remember your answer, actually. What did you say?
I already did several times.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But he's back. He's back, people. You remember the story we had a few weeks ago about Wimbledon quiet rooms being used for people to do nefarious acts on each other's privates?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, apparently there is a new fad. I think in San Francisco, it's like one of these test markets for robotaxis, which if you don't know what a robotaxi is, it's a driverless car. And it looks just like a regular car. Like it has a driver's seat and a steering wheel and everything, but it's equipped to drive itself. Yeah. What do you think people are doing while they've got this nice 15-minute drive in their Cruise, which is one of the brands or one of the companies? That's right, they fooling around, man, getting it on.
Well, that's what's
what's wrong with people?
Well, no, I like it. I think people don't realize they're probably being filmed.
That was going to be my question. I wonder maybe that's what they're hoping. But are there cameras in there?
Yeah, have to be.
Right, there would have to be cameras in there.
Because if you break something, they're going to have like proof that you broke it.
Right, like as in an Uber ride, if you were to throw up or something because you're drunk in the back seat, that Uber driver knows, and so he holds you accountable because your Uber account has your name.
If you go into an Uber and there's a camera, you've dealt with a guy who's been through it.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, he's had some stories.
Yeah,
I've heard some bad stories. I don't know that I'd want to be an Uber driver.
I think it's all about location and time.
Yeah, driving in the middle of the night, you probably get more rides though.
Yeah. Well, that's because people are drinking, so good. They're taking Ubers.
Oh,
I've been in Ubers where the person who I was with threw up, and it was really awkward because it's like you already threw up, so it's already done. And so it's kind of like, sorry, man, because it's one of those, we'll just bill you later.
Yeah. I guess for the cleaning bill, right?
Yeah. But like the Uber driver, you can get mad, but it's like, it's already done, dude. Like,
yeah, I mean, well, it's not about getting mad. It's about making sure that he's made whole, right?
Yeah, you get charged like $200 something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah,
so
because it's your time and I guess the devaluation of your car if it smells like vomit now.
That's great.
I do have a great Uber story. I'm going to save it for next week because I don't have all the details pulled up in front of me, and I want to make sure I get them right. But it's a funny Uber story. But yeah, no, people are getting it on in these cruises. And this one guy says, Alex, a man in his 30s, told MSN that he estimates that he has performed at least 6 separate sex acts spread out over the course of 3 different rides. He estimates. What do you mean estimate? Like, wouldn't you know?
He just doesn't remember.
That's the problem. I guess he's trying to think what constitutes that kind of activity. I don't know, but so let me ask you. Again, we already know.
What a great date! That's your date night. Let's get a cruise, baby, and
we could take a helicopter ride over the city, or we could just take a cruise and get it on.
Yeah, like let's make sure it's a 45-minute trip.
45 minutes. Wow. That's impressive.
Well, I got to beat this guy's record or whatever.
It's six experiences. No, man. But let me ask you though. I know already you said you probably would be leery to get in a driverless car.
It would.
Would you?
It'd be weird.
Do this type of activity inside of a driverless car.
Yeah.
Perform an act of admiration on your partner in a driverless car.
I not really, probably.
I wouldn't, man. There's no way. I mean, I mean, unless you fogged up the windows enough, I'd be too worried people would see you, or the car would malfunction, the doors start opening, or the windows going up and down or something, and you're in mid.
I don't know.
In mid action. I don't know. Not something I'm going to mess with though. So I know you said in the past that you like to hunt, or you have hunted before, right? Are you a fisherman? Do you like to fish?
No.
No. Okay. See, and I'm kind of the opposite. I'm not necessarily a hunter. My family likes to hunt. At least part of my family does. But I prefer fishing. It was fun. I did that a lot as a kid. I just wondered if you were one of these guys. You grew up close to the coast. So, I mean, I did as well.
Like, fishing was part of the family. Like, that was, I just never really enjoyed it as much as, say, my grandfather or my brothers.
Yeah.
My brothers love fishing.
Okay. So
we'd go on the boat, but I would just sit there.
That's even, oh man, if I'm just going to sit on the boat, I'd rather fish. Because to me, it's like, well, I'm already out on a boat board. At least put a rod in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was always afraid I was going to, I got, the thing was the bail would always get twisted. My dad would then get twisted, get me, because he had to take time out to get the thing untangled. Or I'd always lose the bait. I'd fling it out there, and the hook would go one way, and then you'd see the bait go the other direction. You're like, oh man, that's not going to attract anything. It was always a pain learning, but I enjoyed it as I got older. Well, this story is from NBC News. The Tampa mayor apparently had a big catch last week.
Yeah?
When Jane Castor. She found 70 pounds of cocaine on the end of her line when she went fishing. Wow. This was in July 23. She had the discovery on a fishing trip with her family. She was actually a longtime police officer and the city's first female police chief, which is pretty cool. And then she was the actual former mayor. But catches 70 pounds of coke. So Dick, I have to ask you, if you're out fishing and you catch 70 pounds of coke, what are you doing with it? You returning it, or are you having a party?
I would never make a comment.
I just know if it were me and I caught 70 pounds of cocaine, I know that my local authorities would be receiving 65 pounds back pretty immediately.
Yeah?
Yep, that's the kind of guy I am.
Yeah.
I'm returning it.
That would be an interesting phone call, because, there's always that kind of fear, like, they're going to bust me, but, like, I didn't do anything. But it's like, but you're in possession of 70 pounds of cocaine.
Yeah, that is one of the things. You get it up in the boat, you're like, oh, it's not mine. It's not mine. Use that same tactic, right? But I have heard stories of people catching stuff like this before.
Yeah.
And what I've heard, because this is not me, I'm not projecting this story on anybody else, what I've heard is a lot of times when you haul in drugs, they're not any good. They're waterlogged. They've got Conroe Lake water yak on them or whatever, and they're just not any good anymore. But I guess if they're wrapped up well enough, perhaps you could try it. Yeah, that's quite a find. Oh, man, this picture has a bunch of little butterflies all over them. How cute. I guess the bags of Coke had butterflies.
Maybe.
So I love these stories. Again, I don't have to dig very deep for them. They come to me. But apparently there is a woman. This is from several years ago, actually, I think. This is from 2022. That a woman revealed on social. Again, this is one of these things that if it happened to me, I ain't telling anybody. But she revealed that she traveled to a North Carolina town after a TikTok guy tricked her into believing she could find a picturesque village. So apparently this woman named Olivia Garcia from Florida, she goes by I'm not going to give her name, I don't care, posted a video of her dealing with the experience when she thought she was going to be arriving in a town called Glastonia, North Carolina. And this guy apparently online does this all the time, where he'll take pictures of like a scenic Swiss Alp and then put some random city name on it. Well, she bought it and went out there and actually traveled. And imagine her surprise when she shows up to Glastonia, North Carolina.
Well, it's a real town.
Yeah, it is.
So
it is.
That's a
but
real
it doesn't
town.
look like the Swiss Alps, for crying out loud. I mean, the picture he showed, I don't know if you want to show this, the side-by-side.
I think
absolutely hilarious. She pulls up to like a strip mall, and this is Glastonia, but yet the picture he showed as Glastonia was this beautiful winter swept with little villages. And she somehow thought that was in North Carolina. You know what, woman? You are a fool.
I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Apparently, he clarified the location in the comments.
Oh.
But
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. At that point, it was a little too late. But again, if this happened to me, man, I ain't telling anybody I fell for that.
Oh, I would probably do a little bit more research than just listen to a TikTok.
Let's go, kids. Get in the car. We're going to Glastonia.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of strange to me that you would. But then it looked like it was only an hour drive. So
Yeah,
it's
it wasn't
not
far.
that.
So that means wherever she was at, she thought within 1 hour's drive, she could have that kind of scenery in front of her in an hour. We're in some trouble, Dick. We are in some trouble.
I believe it.
But can you imagine, like, the kid in the car thinking, Mom, you realize that was fake, right? I mean, you kind of lose faith in your mom at that point. You're like, this is the
that's
woman.
happening
This is the
every
woman.
day.
This is the woman that raised me. Oh my God.
Well, I think that's what's so clever about the social media is like it's getting smarter and smarter, and people can really do some damage convincing people to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's only going to get worse.
I certainly hope not. Speaking of convincing people, this is from Brazil. This story is from Brazil, Newsweek, that an 8-year-old boy let a black widow bite him, which sounds stupid enough, but he had good reason for doing so. I know this is why
He was
I would do it.
vegan.
Right, yeah. Can't kill him. Got to go take him out to the garden. No, he wanted to become Spider-Man.
Oh, that's fair.
Right? I'm like, I kind of get it. But
And then he's dead.
well, no, he didn't die, but he did have to go to the hospital. I mean, black widow bites are typically the most poisonous in elderly and children.
Yeah.
And this being an 8-year-old, that puts him into one of those categories.
You know what's so crazy about black widows is they look scary.
Yeah, they're neat. I've seen them.
Me too.
Yeah,
but
they're
like
cool. We have 'em here.
they look totally different than like a normal spider. They look scary.
Yeah, they're
Like
pretty
their butts are really, really big.
bulbous.
And it's just
They twerk.
it's scary. Like I mean
That's when you know it's real. They start twerking with that big bulbous butt they got.
well they like dark areas, so I'm not really around a lot of dark areas.
Yeah, the worst one is the brown recluse.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that hide under things so you don't see them. At least the black widow, I mean, they make a nest or a web and you can see them. They
Yeah.
might be in a dark area or whatever, but you can see them. Whereas a recluse, that's why they're called recluses. They don't want to be seen, and then you startle them and they go, wah, and bite at you. And the worst part is the length of time between when you get bit, right, and then the time you get medical attention, the longer. Obviously, it can start causing paralysis and things like this. Well, I think this boy probably got bit and then wanted to see if he was going to turn into
mean,
Spider-Man.
there's nothing wrong
So
with
some
that.
hours
Well, you
passed
know
by,
he's
and that was
still
worse.
waiting, right? He's waiting to wake up all buff.
Yeah, right. Like
Even-
Tobey Maguire
Yeah,
did.
like Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
I don't have to wear glasses anymore.
Yeah, I think he did roids for that. Did you hear that rumor?
Why not?
Yeah, to get that buff, to get that big, just a little hit here. Because he's like 5'8", 130, as Peter Parker, and all of a sudden he was like still 5'8", and 160. I was like, oh, that doesn't
not?
happen. That doesn't happen overnight in the filming of a movie. No, I heard that rumor, but I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
Speaking of spiders, this story, I don't know if we're after the 55-minute mark or not. I don't know, but apparently there was an Australian supermarket that had to be closed temporarily because they found a deadly spider. I'm thinking, man, you're going to close an entire supermarket for finding a deadly spider. Well, the reason is this particular spider, its venom can cause long-lasting and painful erections. Can I say that
That's
on the
real?
radio?
Are you serious?
That is real. That is
That's
the side
awesome.
effect. So I'm thinking you back on the dating scene. I may get you go to the pet
Yeah.
store and get you a handful of these. You take them out for date night.
Go to the holistic drug place.
Right. I don't want to use the over-the-counter blue pill, so I'll go get some of these spiders. I need to find the. This is called a
You've been getting a lot of ads for
Brazilian-
for hymns too.
Brazilian wandering spider. No, I get ads for spiders. It was spotted in the aisles.
Can you imagine that one person who knows that? It's like, stay away from it.
Well,
Stay away.
How did they know this was a
And they're
side
like,
effect?
what's wrong? It's a spider. Oh, it could kill us? No, give you a erection.
Yeah. So the species has a venom which stimulates erections and can last for hours. Bites from one of these spiders can also cause a dangerous spike in blood pressure and full body pains.
That's got to be an awkward pain.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever
Yeah.
had that as being painful. But yeah, they had to close down an entire supermarket because of that. There's a picture of him. He does look, I mean, it's a spider. They got 4 sets of eyes or 4 eyes, 2 sets, and some claws on them. They look pretty wicked. But are you one of these guys when you find spiders at the house, you immediately kill them?
Yeah.
I am too. If they're inside, they're dead. But I'm trying to be a little bit better. If I see a dude just chilling outside in his web, I just leave him alone. Because I used to be, if it was real up close by the house, I would kill him. But I'm kind of getting to the point now. I'm like, if you stay out here, dude, you're doing you. You're killing insects. You're not hurting anything, especially if it's just like a wolf spider or something. I try not to kill him. I used to be just like, whatever spray, because I hate them.
I've been doing a lot of testing because I want to see if I can find this spider that we just talked about.
Yeah.
So I've just been letting every spider I run across bite me. Just be like, I heard there's
and then sit and wait
yeah.
in the dark with no pants on.
Yeah.
Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Then I hit Tinder up.
Man, this is it's like a normal Saturday night.
That's when I get on Tinder. Like, we got to go.
Hey, ladies, just took a spider bite. Who wants to chat?
And she's like, you know, you have a giant welt on your shoulder. Oh, that's where I got bit by the spider. We're good. And it's like, well, you know, it's leaking now. Don't worry. It makes it better. You know what I mean?
That was one of the false positives.
Jeez.
That one didn't work, but the last one did. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
But yeah, dude.
So here's what.
But yeah, I would do it.
Oh, okay. If you knew for a fact that was the right one, it wasn't going to cause like painful death, but it caused painful other things.
I think that'd be really funny to throw on my buddy. Got you good, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Fool you. All right, for our feel-good story of the week, this is to close out the show. I did this a few weeks ago. It was nice. So I've tried to do it every week, but it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this is a feel-good story, but it kind of made me smile. A family discovered a live frog in their unopened package of organic spinach. You know, you get those little packages of spinach or whatever. In this case, I love how it said on the package, triple washed.
Yeah, there's
I'm
a frog.
triple washed, and well, it didn't wash off the little frog that had made his home in there. A Michigan family leapt in surprise. Again, hate these stories. Thank you, New York Post, again. After finding a live frog in an unopened package of organic spinach. He was just chilling in there. My daughter was screaming. She was like, oh my God, it's a frog. Just thank God we didn't eat it. It looks cool, man. It turned out to be a Pacific tree frog native to California, camouflaged in the leafy vegetables, and it's still moving. I don't know if you want to show the picture or not, because do we have a picture? Yeah. It looks pretty cool, man. I like that little guy. So, you have this scenario unfold at your house. You see it. Are you freaking out? Are you going to go back over to the supermarket? Hey, there's a frog in there. Are you going to take him out and release him with the hair lice and the spiders?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'd be that big of a deal either. Now, are you going to eat? Are you eating the lettuce though, or the spinach in this case? Are you going to wash it for a fourth time? Quadruple wash it? It'll be fine.
Yeah, fine.
Awesome, man. Well, that is all I have got for this week, man.
Yeah, it was a good show. It's good seeing you, man. Don't forget, guys, you can always sponsor or donate to Audience of One. We're always looking for fun topics, so send it over to us via Facebook, Audience of One Show, or email us at audienceofoneshow@gmail.com. We're here every Wednesday at 10 a.m., having fun on podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Lone Star Community Radio, Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
So hard to say.
Yeah, there's a lot to say.
Yeah, but again, like, share, follow, and if you have a TikTok page, put us out on your TikTok. I don't do TikTok.
Well,
throw us out on TikTok.
Yeah,
man.
we got to go marble shopping this week.
Oh yeah, I did. I went viral this week on the I Love Conroe. I love Conroe. There we go. I said it.
There we go. Well, shout out to
It
those
definitely-
guys
it definitely
and the marble
went viral.
dealers and the marble dealers out there trying to make that bank.
Oh man.
But yeah,
More power to them, man. If they can find a market for it, sell them, baby. Sell them.
it's good to see you, man.
Nice seeing you too. Till next week.